off the track.
Alright, what up everybody? It's your boy Akin, here to give you a scout report on Malik McDowell, the defensive tackle coming out of Michigan State. Now, he's actually from the state of Michigan, and he actually was a big 5-star recruit coming out of high school, in which his final decisions was between the Michigan Wolverines and the Michigan State Spartans. Decided to head over to East Lansing and join Mark D'Antonio's great defense, and I thought that was a great decision, even though Michigan is a respectable team. Now, let's talk about what he's been doing during his career. As a true freshman, he actually did play some time. He was used more of a supporting role during that season, but he did garner freshman All-American honors at the end of the year with just 1.5 sacks within 15 tackles. Now, the following season, that's when he emerged and became a star. He was second-team All-Big Ten selection with 43 tackles to go along with 13 tackles for loss and 4.5 sacks. Had a big season, and I had high hopes in 2016. But the numbers did drop, though. He just had 31 tackles with 7 tackles for loss and just 1.5 sacks. That's not pretty, wasn't too fond compared to 2015, but he actually missed 3 games due to an ankle injury, which was a big cause. And also, he's been dealing with some tough competition in the Big Ten. In my opinion, they're actually just a close second to the SEC conference as far as how competitive the conferences are. Big Ten is actually rising up, and it could be actually the best conference in the next couple of seasons, but we will see. That is a bold prediction. SEC, no disrespect, but the SEC is actually starting to get some competition, particularly we've been seeing in the bowl matches, but I'll talk about that later. Now, going back to Malik McDowell, let's talk about his strengths and weaknesses. First, his strengths, I do love his size at 6'6", 295 pounds. That's a great size for your man to have, and he runs a 4.85 40, which is a great speed for the defensive tackle. It's actually faster than Jonathan Allen out of Alabama, who is the #1 defensive tackle entering this year's draft. Also, he did have more bench press reps at 225 pounds than Allen. Allen had 21, and I believe Malik McDowell had 23. Other things that I do like about him, I do love his spin move. He does a great job with his spin and trying to squeeze himself in between blockers and even evade blockers. Other things that I do like about him, he has aggressive hands to grab and keep himself in long arms with that as well, to keep himself far away from opposing blockers to get behind the line of scrimmage and cause some disruption in the line of scrimmage, which is a great thing I do like about him. Other things that I do like the fact that he is a little bit versatile. Even though I see him more of a fit at defensive tackle and just better off at staying at defensive tackle, he does have versatility, though. He did get some play at the defensive end this past season, 2016, because of that, it shows that he can play both inside and out, but I see him as an interior inside a defensive lineman at the next level. Now, he does have some weaknesses, though. I mentioned that he missed 3 games this past season and due to an ankle injury, which is a little bit of a concern, and the numbers did drop drastically compared to 2015. Maybe because of the competition, I'm going to give him some slack, but it's still a little bit of a red flag in there for many scouts, including myself. I'm a numbers guy. I love to look at numbers. I wish the numbers were higher, but he was dealing with the injury at the end of the season, and he kind of went downhill in the second half anyway. Now, other things that he does need to work on, he needs to build on working up more moves to get past opposing blockers. He depends way too much on that spin move. He needs to do a better job in trying to pick up different moves. Now, he does a pretty good grab and rip pull sometimes, but he doesn't use it enough. He uses the spin way too much, in which it can be very predictable. Now, other things that I did notice that I actually been reading about players talking about him, he's a lot of a trash talker, which could be too much of a distraction on his point when he should be more focused on the game. There are some times where he could get too caught up talking trash and getting things all mixed up and making mistakes due to being undisciplined enough to focus on the next play. He needs to do a better job to sometimes keep your mouth shut. Now, if you talk a lot of trash, you gotta back it up with your play. And in 2015, 2016 wasn't doing too well. I've been reading more articles about him, and I noticed that people have been saying that he's been talking a lot of trash and can sometimes get too caught off guard and lose focus. He needs to stay focused. That's just one thing he does need to work on. But I still think that he's a good player. Some things that he just needs to work on a little bit as far as his spin move and not his spin move, but other moves to get behind the line of scrimmage, and just a couple of key things. Also, he can stand up a little bit too tall. He needs to do a better job bending the knee, and even being a better overall edge rusher. With the decent speed at 4.85, I wish he was just a little bit better off the edge and cutting the corner to be a good dominant defensive end. But like I said, he's a better fit at defensive tackle. Now, with this being said, I see him as a late first-round pick, at worst, the second-round pick of this year's draft. Now, the next time to catch you guys will be in just a couple of minutes. I have a lot more blogs for today. Thank you for watching this blog. I'm your man, Akin McCall.